Welcome to the Sylphia Speaks podcast, where we dive deep into the currents of the spiritual community and explore what's unfolding in our collective consciousness. I'm your host, Roseanne, and in each episode we connect with the universe to bring you channeled messages that resonate with the energies and issues at play right now. Here we don't skim the surface, we journey into the depths of your spiritual experience. Whether it's clarification on popular topics trending across the internet, insight into our shared journey, or personal stories from my encounters in the public eye, each episode is crafted to provide you with the understanding and confirmation of what you may be feeling in your own life. This podcast is designed for those of you who are not just dabbling, but are committed to walking your spiritual path and seeking deeper truths. If you're ready to explore, reflect, and connect with the universe, you're in the right place. So sit back, open your heart and mind, and let's embark on this transformative journey together. Hello, welcome to another podcast, number 8 of Sylphia Speaks podcast. This one was going to start out as a different podcast, and then I realized it was number 8, and that was all about abundance, and the universe said to me, do it. So I said to the universe, hey, I'm not that great at it just yet. And it said, well, tell them what you know. And I thought about it for a moment, and so I'm going to wing it. But here's what I do know about abundance and about calling that in. Now, there's been lot of discussion and discovery amongst my very close people, friends, associates, and we all sort of, I won't say struggle, but, there is a little bit of energy we're working through in the spiritual community about monetary gain, and I think that's the problem, is that we get ourselves sideways about what is abundance. When we ask for abundance, the universe does not know that we are speaking about like nickels and pennies and dimes, right? Abundance is wealth in all ways, wealth meaning, an abundance of good, positive energy, an abundance of negative energy, an abundance of what is it that you're calling, right? So if you, on a daily basis, are asking for abundance, but then you're feeling into poverty, I know I don't have enough, then you're calling in that abundance of not having enough. So it is a training of yourself, of your energy, to feel true abundance, true pleasure, true higher frequency, high vibration about it. What does that look like? Oh, I just bumped my speaker. What does that look like? Example. So if you're in the doldrums, if you're in the I call it like the trenches, and you're fighting your way out of those lower frequency emotions, like you've been feeling like, oh, everything's against me and all this other stuff. The moment that something is good, or that feels good to you, or that gives you a good feeling, latch onto it and feel it. Feel it with all your heart and say, that's what I want to feel, So let's say you're going about your day, and the day is just not your caliber, and so you're aware of it and you're doing your best to float above the surface of the chaos, because that's what a lot of us do. Is it's not that the chaos doesn't happen around us, but we navigate around it or above it, or we don't get thrown into it, because the minute you get thrown into it, then you've lost control over the way you handle the situation. And that's what it's all about, is how you handle everything. That's your power, right? So let's say you're in a situation and, it's not quite right. I could give the silliest example. Let's say that, today is a day where you've got appointments that you need to get to. Maybe you've got to go to a doctor's appointment or go to a, who knows, pay a bill or something. And you're like, ugh, and you're running a little bit late. And so you're speeding, right? And you get caught by a train and you think to yourself, oh my God, but you're just holding on like, okay, I'm okay. And you don't allow yourself to get thrown into the, the chaos of that moment. And suddenly you look over by where there's maybe a parking lot or something, and there's a police car. Had you not been stopped by that train, you probably would have went flying over those train tracks because you're running late. And then you would have even been in a more situation, right? So in that moment, you realize that you allow your heart to be grateful that, oh, wow, thank you for protecting me. Thank you for this situation. Whoa, that was really good. Okay. And so then your heart is bursting forward with a higher vibration in a moment that maybe just seconds ago you were feeling so down, right? But that's how you do it. That's how you do it. So then you hold on to that positive and you say to yourself, how much better can this get? Right? Because then you're challenging the universe to show me how it gets better, and it will progressively get better. And the minute that something comes in where, it's going to try and mess with that, you just think to yourself, okay, so this is happening. We'll see what comes next, because maybe something else is setting me up for better, Just expect that something better is coming. And it always will, but you need in that moment to try your best to find the thing that you could be grateful for. So again, like in that experience, it was like, running late, having to go do something, feeling stressed out, speeding, getting caught by a train, being so aggravated about it. But then you look over and you see the police car and you think, wow, okay, I just dodged a bullet. That was, right? How many times do we sometimes get detained? You could do the car thing constantly. How many times do we get detained or something happens and suddenly somebody blows through a stoplight and you say, oh my gosh, I would have been in that moment just then, but thankfully, or whatever it may be. Now, abundance doesn't necessarily come in monetary gain. Like, we don't necessarily see that, nickels and dimes falling into our pockets. What it can look like is, the ability to sort of shapeshift, morph your experience. And I'll give you one. So I had received a vehicle. That was another thing too, is I waited long enough for the universe to provide, but I followed my guidance through it. And I received a vehicle, and I methodically fixed it up because it was a clunker car, and it had a spider webbed windshield. And so everybody was telling me to take it here, take it there. It's going to be so much money, blah, blah, blah. And I just sat with it, and my intuition said, call a salvage yard and see if they install windows. And they did. And I waited until I had the money, and it happened to be a very cold day. Well, I went to the salvage yard, and prior to that, my intuition said, bring your charger and bring something to eat just in case, like have what you need to be able to sit there a whole day, which is not ideal, but sometimes the universe wants you sitting somewhere because you're going to talk to people, or you're going to whatever. So be open to these experiences, because these things could eventually then come back later and help you, right? So here I am. I come into this place, this salvage yard, and I say, could I please wait for it? And I went in early enough that I was number 2 on the list, and they're like, okay, sure, fine. Well, they go and they put in the windshield, and I guess it popped. The corner of it popped. And so they had to go look for another one. They tried another one. It was too cold out, so the windshield kept popping. And I didn't really know what was going on, but I would see one of the mechanics come in, talk to the front desk guy, look towards me, and then go. And I thought, oh boy, what's going on here? But I didn't really say much anything. I was enjoying my day. I was talking to people in the waiting area. I met a lot of nice people. There was an actual cat wandering around that sat on my lap half of the time. So I had a good time with that. I was just enjoying the moment, you know. Eventually, I said to them, now this is after being there for probably about 4.5 hours. I said, hey guys, I said, is everything okay? And the guy fessed up and he said, he said, we're on the third windshield and this is the last windshield we have in house. Otherwise, we're going to have to order it out. And I said, okay. He's like, so we're going to try it right now and I'm going to let you know what happens. He's like, but it's just so cold out that the glass is, it's not, it doesn't have enough give in it. And so it keeps breaking, cracking. Well, lo and behold, about another half an hour goes by, and the guy comes in. He is so defeated and so downtrodden. And he says, the guy calls me up and he says, ma'am, he's like, he wants to take you out and show you what's going on. We're going to need to order you a windshield because this one popped as well. And I'm thinking, because I had a spider web on my windshield before. It was very bad. I come out there. And it's the little bottom corner on the driver's side has one small crack that you could barely see that's in the, like at the bottom. I looked at the man and I said, is this windshield safe? Is it stable? He's like, oh, it's all sealed in and everything. I'm like, will it pop out? He goes, no. I'm like, will this make any more damage? He goes, I don't think so. I'm like, well, then why do I? He's like, well, because we have to do it perfect. I'm like, I'm satisfied with this. He goes, well, ma'am, we were going to send you home with it anyway and, order you a new one. So I went back inside and I said to the guy, I said, hey, I'm like, can I pay you for this? Because I'm satisfied with this. I can handle that. I'm like, I couldn't see out my windshield before. He said, no, ma'am, we cannot sell you that because it's damaged. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, but I don't need to order a new one, right? He's like, no, ma'am. And I said, can I give you anything for it? He's like, no. So the universe provided me with because it was going to cost $300. This was abundance to me. This is how it came out to me. All right. So sometimes these little things, and then I turn around and years later now, it's been about 5 years since that happened. And I'm working in a hospital and I've at least seen 3 of the people that I met in that waiting area since then. And 2 of them had said, I've been thinking about you on occasion. What you said to me, that really changed my life. Hello. So you never know why you need to be somewhere and how that abundance is going to come. So, sometimes it's just listening to your inner voice, knowing when and where to act, and it just happens. Sometimes abundance could be that you order a pizza and because the app makes a fault or something, the pizza company calls you back and says, hey, you know what, we're sorry, but because of the trouble you had with the app, we're going to give you 3 free pizzas. That's abundance. Anything that is given to you in a way is abundance. You can have abundance of friendships. You can have abundance of love. You can have abundance of, like one time, my son was working at a dollar store and an order came through for frozen food that was a mistake. And the upper management said, just mark it all as garbage and throw it away. So my son called and said, hey, Mom, come bring your car and load up. We're going to put it in the car and we're going to take it to the food pantry. So we ended up passing it out to a bunch of people, but that was abundance. That was an abundance of food, So abundance comes in all kinds of crazy different ways, Just look at it. It's not always, dollars and cents. That would be nice because we are in a society where what do they call it, the Gregorian or something like that, monetary system, we still believe in it, right? Or we still use it. But we can find so many ways to navigate that system, almost like cheat codes, on a video game. I mean, nothing has to be written in stone. How many times have you come across where something was one way always, and all of a sudden now, there was a grant. There was a new law put in place. They decided to get rid of that law. Here's a coupon. They ended up, we needed to get new pipes in our house, and there was like some issue with just how the water just tasted funny and this and that. Come to find out that all of the pipes in this section of our town needed to be replaced, and they were all replaced right up to our front. The inside interior pipes, no, but everything outside. And that didn't cost us a penny. And that happened last year. So just acknowledge what you need. Put it out there to the universe with a grateful heart. Look into being grateful every time you can, because it's that higher vibration, that higher frequency that helps you anchor it in. And keep going. Keep going. And that great phrase, how much better can it get? Every time anything is a little bit better than what it normally is, just say, how much better can this get? If you have a great day, if you get home quicker than, normal, if you made a great meal and it turned out amazing, if you easily pay a bill, if you get a paycheck that is a little bit more, if you are around a group of friends and everything goes smoothly, if your laundry goes really fast, if it's a nice bright day outside, if the line in the store goes really fast, if you go into the store and you find something that you exactly needed in the clearance aisle, yada, 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 yada. Be grateful. Put that out to the universe. Wow, check this out. That was amazing. How much better can it get? And it will get better. It's just, you have to, every moment you can, to put that out there. Yep. And know that things change. They are not written in stone. Miracles happen on a daily basis, and they're not even really miracles anymore. They are. They're like quantum hacking, cheat codes. We're doing it. So that is all I got for that. Wherever you're at, have a great day, have a great evening, have a great morning, and I will talk to you, see you in the next one.